This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it.
29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. And the legend grows. Ronald Acuna. Historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Oh boy, do we have another special edition of A's Cast Live for you from the field before the Athletics take on the Houston Astros. Chris Davis. Remember Chris Davis?
How can you forget Crush?
You used to coach him. Chris Davis is going to be here. Now, I'll talk about this with Chris Davis. We've already taped it. We did it on Sunday, Alumni Sunday. You remember in the dugout watching just how many big hits, how many big home runs. There's a lot of guys that they'll do stuff when the score is in doubt. Chris Davis hit home runs, had big extra base hits when it truly mattered.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that when he came to the plate, you didn't go to the bathroom. You shouldn't have gone to the concession stand. You wanted to watch Crush hit. And with just big monster power. And like you said, he could hit too. It wasn't just that, he struck out. It was, Power City. I just remember all the homers he hit in Texas. He hit a lot of home runs in Texas. So
the old ballpark?
Yeah, the old ballpark. So yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch play.
Yeah, Chris Davis is going to be here at 5:30. Tommy White, the second-round pick out of LSU. Tommy Tanks, a national champion with the Tigers. He is going to join us. Johnny D will be here for some hot takes, but we're starting the show with the doctor. How are you, Scott Emerson?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Your pitchers, by the way, I was just crunching some numbers. Your pitchers the last few games, especially the way they started the All-Star break, they've been pretty hot. You got to be happy.
Yeah, our guys, like I said, we're trying to get them, one day better, whether it's analytically, whether it's physically, how they're moving. I think they're a really hard-working group of guys. Like I said about last year's staff. Last year's staff worked hard, and these guys just worked just as hard. So, the process has been pretty good, and we just want to keep on grinding.
Let's back up the numbers here. Starters are 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA in the last 5 games. Overall, because count the bullpen, how good they've been, other than the blip we saw on Sunday. So far, the pitching staff, last 5 games, 2.80 ERA. So talk about what you need to see as we now call this the second half. It's really, the second half started a while ago, but really the second half of the season, how you want to see guys get better going forward.
Yeah, I think we've always talked about sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. You're never losing if you're learning. So now let's actually avoid those mistakes. Ahead in the count, put your pitches in good spots to where hitters have to chase it or they get a lot of soft contact. Don't make mistakes around the middle of the plate. Have the ability to execute your pitch, whether it's in the zone or out of the zone. But also, we've had some defensive blunders. We can't make mistakes. If we want to be that playoff team, especially, my responsibility is the pitchers, don't make mistakes. Get over and cover first base on PFPs. We work on it. We talk about it. Now you have to actually go execute these things. This is what major league pitchers do. And I'm holding these guys, more accountable as we finish off the season. Like, hey, these are the things, I don't want to hear, yeah, I know. No, we actually have to get this stuff done so we can lock it in. So when we're ready to be that playoff team, we're in that drive and we're winning the games that we're supposed to win.
That recently happened out here. We're not going to mention names, and it's happened multiple times this season, happened last year. I am screaming up in my box, expletives, when a pitcher does not cover first, it drives me absolutely nuts. It should be your instinct after you release the ball that you're thinking about, that you should always be thinking. When I hear these data people say that, the pitcher releases the ball and everything's out of his control. No, it's not. You're a defender. Once you release the ball, you're one of 9 guys whose job is to get outs. And when pitchers don't field their position and don't cover first base, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's the little things, right? If you take all the little things and you grab them out of the air and they become big things, those are the things we're trying to avoid. Control the controllables. They know that they got to get over on the right side on a ground ball hit to first or second base. Now you have to do it. There's no excuse, and we're holding them accountable. And accountability is just me going up. They have that no duh moment with you. But, as a coach, you just still have to go up to them and say, hey, I need you to get over there.
Yeah.
And even if they say, I know, no, I need you to get over there. And this is your job. And, the more you can grab the little things out of the air and be successful with, the better you're going to be. And the more times you whiff at those things, the worse you're going to be. So, I want these guys to maximize their potential. And those little things that are in the air are very important.
I'm not going to give a pass to lefties. But it is different when you're you're a lefty and your momentum takes you to the third base side. Righties, there's no excuse. Your momentum already takes you to the left side to not cover first base, to not field your position.
Well, the excuse is if I just didn't get over there because I wasn't quick enough, then I can see that. But to make a pitch and just be standing there and then react late, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So if a guy's just kind of getting over there and he can't get there in time, the runner's beating him down the line. We teach a straight line from the bottom of the mound, which there's an angle. So we used to back years ago we had this banana. The banana route is really slow. By the time you take the banana and make a move up the line, you're late. So when you're at the bottom of the mound, you have a direct line. The quickest point from one point to another is that straight line. You're taking that straight line. Now, right-handers have more mobility going up the line because their glove hand is on the inside. Left-handers, their glove hand is on the outside. So if that first baseman is coming in, then we can maybe veer out a little bit so we can get a little bit more mobility. But the issue is get over there. You just got to get over there.
And the faster you can get over there, I get it. If Deion Sanders is hitting left-handed and it's a foot race, it's going to be tough. But it is so important for a pitcher to get over there as fast as he can and to get on the bag. The more you are a moving target, the tougher it is for the first baseman, or even if it's the second baseman who has to hit you. Moving target makes it really tough. Sometimes that's just the way it is. Ideally, you want to get over there and be stationary and be like a first baseman.
Yeah, what we teach our guys is, your first 3 steps are you're going. You're busting it. You're getting after it. And then after that, you're getting your hands up because you want the ball as soon as possible. When you get the ball sooner, you can find the bag easier. So you want to have your hands up. And then if you get to the bag, and you don't receive the ball yet, that's when you got to anchor down. The right-handers, their right foot can anchor down on the bag, and then they can make a play. We want our left-handers to hit the bag still with the right foot, but then kick into the left-hand side.
Yeah, well, you lefties, that's did something happen there, Commander?
Yeah, I lost my sound.
You lost your sound. Let's see. You were kicking stuff. How's that?
Better. Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
We're back. We're back.
We fixed stuff right on the field, right here. You got to be able to, hey, when you're on the field, something's going wrong. You got to be, I can't expect my coach to always come in. I got to fix it myself.
Right. The technology that's involved in this game now, the headsets and everything, we got right on it.
All right. So we're seeing a little bit of a trend. Guys, it's the tweener guy, right? I've been a starter. They make me a reliever. I'm having some success. And now I go back to starting, right? Or guys have been a reliever professionally, maybe started younger in their career. We've seen a little bit of a trend. And one of the things that you could talk about is how these guys, when they come out of the bullpen, you start to learn, I have to attack now. I have to throw strikes. I have to get outs now. How does that help a guy then become a starter? Because then you become a starter and you start having that mentality, outs now, strikes now, attack.
I think, if you look at some of the elite pitchers that have pitched in this game, and I talk about the guys that I've watched growing up, the Kurt Schillings, the Nolan Ryans, the Randy Johnsons, the Pedro Martinez's, those types of guys, those guys could close out baseball games, right? They had that killer mentality. But that's what made them elite type starters, is they close out the first inning, then they go out and close out the second inning, they go out and close out the third inning. So sometimes I remember, we talked about this about Andrew Bailey. We put him in the AA bullpen to try to get that more aggressive mentality, but he did so dang well out of that role that he barely gave up anything the rest of the way. Made the big league club the next year, was rookie of the year. So there was something different, but there's something too, going to the bullpen just to see the different atmosphere, to see that mentality that you got to come in and you got to pump strikes. And when you're in a leverage situation, that mind tells you, hey, I got to perform right now. I got to be on the go right now. And I think it's good to be able to do that. But, can you go back to starting and keep that mentality? Then you got to keep that mentality for, 100 pitches, 115 pitches.
We're seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
I think one of the best examples, and I know he got some starts in San Diego, but time with the Mets, Seth Lugo is the guy, now an all-star in Kansas City, and he's having a fantastic year. He's a guy that got shipped to the bullpen quite a bit, but he's always wanted to be a starter. It's like, how much did or Hicks in San Francisco was a closer, now a starter. How much does that mentality, and the fact that we don't expect guys to go as deep anymore, maybe you can – that attack right away, you're able to do that. And a lot of these guys, as you know, are showing we used to not want to show everything early. Now we have guys who show everything right out of the gate.
Well, I believe in showing everything when it's possible. When you need your weapons, you need to be throwing your weapons. You start holding back your weapons and you're down 2-0 and the other guy throws a shutout because you're trying to hold back your weapons. I think that's a bad idea. What you got is you got weapons for certain situations during the game. And when those situations call for you to use those weapons, you need to use those weapons. We talk about sometimes about throwing your best pitch more, and I say throw your best pitch more in the situation that it's supposed to be thrown more, because if you just throw it more, it may not be your best pitch anymore because you're overexposing it. But in the opportunities that present itself to throw a certain pitch, you need to be throwing that pitch.
Talk about that, because that is a difference of what used to be taught. Years ago, it established the fastball, and as you go through the order multiple times, now you want to be showing other stuff, especially your really good breaking stuff, your out pitches. You're saying, to hell with that. You got to use them right away. You got to get out.
You got to. I grew up in this organization, and Gil Patterson, who's our pitching coordinator still today, it was that one pitch out of time mentality, and you make that one pitch, and then your next pitch is your most important pitch. So if you decide like, hey, I'm not going to show this guy this pitch, and then he hits it over the fence, you're sitting there kicking yourself going, why didn't I show him something different? Why didn't I do something different? So for me, if you can get away with something, holding back something, that's a different story. But generally, maybe if you have two breaking balls, you might not show them a different breaking ball yet. You might hold off that breaking ball. But for me, you got to come out of the gate and it's one pitcher, one hitter at a time. And then it's the next hitter. And then it's the next hitter. And, for me, you give up a solo homer, the other guy shuts you out, you lose 1-0. That's not good. So right now let's get the first guy of the game out tonight. That's Altuve. Let's back it up with Bregman. Let's back it up with Alvarez, and let's just keep going and going and going. And if that weapon shows up another time, we'll use it. And if it doesn't show up another time, we won't use it. And if you go, as hard as you can, as long as you can, that's what I really want to see. Go as hard as you can, as long as you can. And we got a great strength and conditioning and training staff that gets these guys, hey, you got to go as long as you can, as hard as you can. And we're hoping that we've built you up to 110, 115 pitches. Now, everybody will say, well, why aren't we throwing 110, 115 pitches? The game is still dictated.
Yeah, why aren't we?
Because the game is still dictated off of the game, not off of pitch count and pitch usage. It's off the game. It's proven fact that third time through the batting order is not successful for pitchers. So if you got a fresh bullpen and this guy is not pitching as well, and the scoreboard dictates, so there's a lot of things that go on in this. Hogan last night, we sent him out for the 7th inning, right? And we had a fully pretty much loaded bullpen, but he was throwing the ball good, and the separation in the scoreboard was 4-0. So he got an opportunity to go out there.
Yeah, we were so into 100 pitches. Now we're not. That doesn't matter anymore. right? It's where you are going through the lineup. So just to let everybody know, because I get people who call the postgame show all the time. He was at 91 pitches. Why couldn't he keep going? It's not about the pitch count
It's not
anymore.
about the pitch count, really. I mean, we're not making decisions off the pitch count. We're making decisions off the scoreboard, off who's available, off the hitter, off recent history, off prolong. I mean, there's just so much that goes into this. You know, I know sometimes people are upset if you pull a guy at a small pitch count, but you know, if you're looking at, you know, you throw 61 pitches and you give up 3 runs, do you really get to go back out for the 6th? You have given up 3 runs. So, you know, we are trying to keep the games as close as possible and limit the damage the best we can. But, you know, I get that, you know, why don't we let guys go longer? Hey, the roles on the team, you pitch good, you pitch longer, you pitch bad, you pitch shorter. You know, that's what I've always heard from managers. You know, what's my role on the team? You pitch good, you pitch long, you pitch bad, you pitch short.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Okay, you mentioned Andrew Bailey, friend of the program, former Athletic, Rookie of the Year, now one of the best pitching coaches in the game, learned under this man. You know, you talk about taking him from a starter, made him a closer, light went on. You know, we recently talked to Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley. We've had John Smoltz on this program. Those 2 Hall of Famers were freaks, right? Because they were very successful as starting pitchers. And then, you know, for Eck became a Hall of Fame closer. For Smoltz, he was a Hall of Fame starter who then, because wanted less wear and tear from starting, he became a closer. He was great at that. They're tough to, I mean, they're 2 of the greatest pitchers of all time. But talk about how just a role change. The stuff Andrew Bailey's still the same stuff, still had the same brain, body, same guy. You just changed his role. I mean, how often does that happen where it's just changing a guy's role changes his career?
Well, I think sometimes you change a guy's roles. Maybe their stuff goes into a different direction. I think about Liam Hendriks. You know, Liam Hendriks was a starter in the big leagues early in his career, and then he became a reliever, and then all of a sudden he becomes a closer, right? And now all of a sudden Liam Hendriks ticks up in maybe aggressiveness. Liam Hendriks ticks up in his fastball velocity. Now all of his stuff plays a little bit better because he's throwing 3-4 miles an hour harder because he knows he can leave it out on the field for 1, maybe 1+ innings, not try to go 6 or 7 or 8 innings, and that pitch count gets deep. He knew he could just air it out for one inning, maybe 2 innings, and maybe that 2 1/3 he did against the White Sox that one time in the playoffs. So that mentality for Liam changed his career because now he became a 1-inning specialist, and it really helped out his pocket.
Do you ever get a sense with your guys where you go, well, as you just said, the better you pitch, the longer they go. But what if they're not pitching well, so they're not going very long? But do you ever think to yourself, you know, maybe that will play better in the bullpen than it will as a starter?
I think you always think about that, you know, especially the guys with the lower velocities, you know, they're throwing 92s, 93s. You're always kind of wondering, all right, well, in spring training, we saw them at 5 and 6s. So there's always a thought that, hey, we always got a fallback, but you always want to try to, you know, take your guys that can execute the pitches the best and make them starters and make them prove that they're not starters first. So especially in the minor leagues, you're trying to develop as many starting pitchers as you can, knowing that you always have the bullpen as a fallback.
Steve Sparksy, the former the knuckleballer, was on the show yesterday, now does a great job on radio for the Houston Astros. We're talking about maybe a rebirth of the knuckleball. David Fletcher's doing it in Double-A right now. I know there's a camp down in Southern California that's been teaching it. Could you see in a game that needs innings? We need innings from starters. That's something that really, really lacks. Could you see a rebirth of the knuckleball pitcher to be able to be a guy, at least one guy every 5 days? You know he's not going to have Tommy John. You know he's not going to get hurt, and he has the opportunity to give you a lot of innings.
Well, I think you would probably see more of the knuckleballer as the long guy, who can be a long guy in your on your team that can pitch every day when the starter doesn't succeed. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that we won't see knuckleball starters, but how many knuckleball starters have we seen over the last 30 years? Not very many. And there's a reason to that. It's really hard to be a knuckleball specialist. You got to put it in the box. They got to get soft contact on you. It's got to be really good. If we thought it was really good, we'd develop more knuckleballers, or there'd be more knuckleballers, and there's just not.
Would you be able to teach it, the butterfly?
Yeah, I feel good about teaching a knuckleball.
Got to be behind the ball.
No, I actually, Trot Nixon's one of my best friends. He was teammate with the late Tim Wakefield, who my junior college coach Larry Smith also coached Wakefield. So I've had the opportunity to talk to Wakefield a couple times about the knuckleball when we had some guys that we were experimenting with when I was the pitching coordinator. And I feel good about what he talked to me about. Obviously, I didn't throw one, or maybe I did, and it was my fastball. But
maybe you should have. The big lefty, 6'5", throwing the knuck nasty.
I let him try to hit it anyways. I might as well try to let him hit the knuckleball.
Hogan Harris, to me, it's tough to talk about now because I was trying to explain this last night on the postgame show going, he works fast. Well, now with the pitch clock, everybody works fast, but he works in a rhythm. It's a fast rhythm. And when you work in a fast rhythm, the infielders behind you, the outfield behind you, they're in rhythm. Everybody's in rhythm. It's a faster, more efficient game because we know that infielders and outfielders, when they're engaged, they just play better. They get better breaks on ball. They field it better. They throw it better. Just talk about his style of pitching and what you've seen so far with Hogan Harris. He threw another good game yesterday.
Well, one of the things, and it's a lot of credit to Hogan, we had a good sit down after the Philly game about his mechanics and his delivery. And stop getting on the internet and listening to some of the stuff that's out there, and start really thinking about what pitching is all about and what mechanics are all about. Not everybody moves the same, and when you're trying to move in a way that somebody wants you to move instead of the way that you're supposed to be moving and the way that your body allows you to move, is what we really focused on in his two bullpens leading into this start, about the things that he needs to be doing to move better. Stop listening to outside noise, in my opinion, and start getting on the page of what we want to do and getting back to what he did a few years ago that we really liked. And to his credit, he took it into the game last night against the Astros. I thought he threw a lot more strikes. If you look at the data, he threw a lot more strikes. He was around the plate. He got some more punch outs because he was able to execute pitches better. His breaking ball was top to bottom with the curveball and had some side action to the slider. Just this body movement, in my opinion, made the game a lot better, and hopefully we can stick to that for the rest of his career.
Are you saying don't believe everything you see on the internet?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. Because I believe it. Like I watch more golf videos, and I'm working on so many different things.
Just because it's on Facebook doesn't mean it's right.
See, this is the kind of things we break. This is the kind of knowledge you get here on A's Cast Live.
Yeah, I mean,
which, by the way, is also being watched on the internet right now.
Facebook too.
And we'll be back on Facebook once we get to Sacramento. We're on X. You call it Twitter. Us old guys call it Twitter, and also on YouTube. Other guys that you want to highlight on your staff right now? I remember as a Pirate, he's Beto. Here he's Bedeau. Is it you call him Beto or Bedeau?
No, I call him Pasta.
All right, so Pasta going tonight,
Pasta,
by the way.
I call him Pasta. He calls me Pasta. We just, with the hair in the back, it looks like Pasta. So I gave him the nickname Pasta. He, in turn, gave me the nickname Pasta. So we're both Pastas with each other.
He's a great example. You bring somebody in, and I've been trying to, and I go over this with David Force, the GM. I know people like to be archaic and act like, who's your 5 guys going into the season? 5 guys? You're going to need 13 to 15 guys starting. I mean, it's just the way it is. To have guys like that who have experience, they pitch in spring training, they have success, you put them in AAA, they're going to make a difference. He's pitched well out of the bullpen since he's come up, and he's making his second start tonight.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see the Pasta Beto the last time that he started because of the blisters. So I'm very curious to see how he does starting a game tonight, and it's going to be exciting.
Joey Estes, the progression you've seen with him.
Joey's a painter. He's a guy that's got to throw, execute his pitches, and we've worked on his arsenal. Since he's been in the big leagues, we've added that sweeper. But for me, with him is when he executes pitches, he does really good, and he does a good job of it.
Well, we've all become pitching coaches because we can all look at Baseball Savant, and I noticed early in the season, because we talked to him in spring training, he worked so much in the offseason on that sweeper, and I noticed he wasn't throwing the sweeper early And then he told us on this show it's because he had a blister.
Yeah, and then he's, especially in AAA, and then when we got back up to the big leagues, we got the finger feeling a little better. We felt like it was time to get back to that sweeper that really showed up in the offseason, and he brought to spring training. We like that pitch a lot, and so we got to start incorporating it a little bit more. We took his cutter and we kind of turned it into a slider rather than having an okay cutter. Let's see what we can do with a gyro type slider. A ball that doesn't break as much, but it goes more down. So now he's got something that goes across and something that goes down to the glove side. And then he's got the changeup that goes down to the arm side. And then he's got a great ability to elevate his fastball.
Let's end on this. We know you got to go. All right. Ross Stripling's going to be back. Paul Blackburn's going to be back. What have you said to them? What are their expectations?
Well, their expectations is to go out and do the things that we expected at the beginning of the season. Give us a lot of innings, be good leaders on the field, be great teammates, and they're two really good guys.
All right, this Kurtz kid who got drafted first round out of Wake Forest, you both are 6'5". You both were very accomplished high school basketball players. I just, when he finally shows up here, there can only be one dominant hooper in uniform.
Well, like I told you, Towny, before the show started, anybody. I'm not afraid to play hoops against anybody. There's not one guy on this planet, the best basketball player in the history of the world, who passed away, Len Bias. Wouldn't be afraid to play him. Michael Jordan, wouldn't be afraid to play him.
You've played against Jordan.
I played against Jordan, just not hoops. Give me that opportunity, Mike. Give me that opportunity to play you in hoops. I live in North Carolina. Just give me an opportunity.
Chapel Hill, let's do it center court. Let's go.
Maybe it's a game of horse because I can't move anymore.
Wow.
Or pig. You'll beat me, but just to get on the floor with that guy.
People don't realize Jordan's 6'6". He's not very in NBA world. That's not very tall. You're about almost the same size.
Yeah, and I grew up a huge Terp fan basketball. That's why I love Len Bias. But Michael Jordan, obviously, he's, in my opinion, the NBA GOAT for sure. But I just love Len Bias.
The great Scott Emerson. Be well, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Second half coming up next. Hot Take Tuesday right here on A's Cast Live.
Paging Dr. Emo.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Broadcast Live continues from Rickey Henderson Field. Here's Chris Townsend.
Hot Take Tuesday.
Oh.
Do you have Lucas from Australia? Did you ever get that from Scott Pastorino?
I did not.
Okay. It's not on me. Michael, I said it yesterday. Pastorino's got to send Lucas from Australia's hot take, and if he doesn't, it's not on me. Didn't I say that last night? All right.
What was his hot take?
He had a hot take about the A's winning the next 4 series. And if if the A's beat the Astros tonight,
he does. He gets it.
he gets it.
Oh,
That is a hot
that's
take.
a blazing hot take. I love it.
By the way, I can't wait to tell you what my hot take in Hawaii was with my wife.
That I'm looking forward to.
It's a hot take, and it was right. And
Did it kill her that it was right?
Yeah, because your wife is the person that is not a fan of yours, never agrees with you,
Right.
tells you your hot takes are lame,
Right.
you don't know what you're talking about. The fact that my wife, after 23 years of marriage, had to say, I can't believe you got that right.
Felt
I
good,
will have
didn't
that. Oh, it felt great. Because even when I'm right, she always spins it. She couldn't spin this one.
Couldn't spin it.
Hot take Hawaii. I will tell you in a little bit.
HTH.
All right, what do we got? We got Ray.
Let's play the open first.
All right. Hot take.
Every once in a while, you hear a really good sports hot take.
Mark this and remember what I told you. The Yankees will not win the World Series.
The
Never gets
Astros
old.
will go 17-8 in the month of June, which will propel them to pretty close to a top the AL West.
Then you hear some really bad hot takes.
Edwin Diaz will not record another save this season for the New York Mets.
I'm calling it now. There will be a collapse in Milwaukee, and the Chicago Cubs. That's last year.
Angel Hernandez retiring is bad for baseball.
Oh, that's
Well,
the
on
worst.
A's Cast Live,
The
all
worst.
takes are hot takes.
That was the worst.
It's time for Hot Takes Tuesday with Chris Townsend, only on A's Cast Live.
By the way, fun with audio.
Yeah.
Some of those are from last year.
For sure.
Yeah. So remember, not all of them have
Well,
been.
I
this
haven't
year.
found a good one of yours yet that I can put in for good or bad yet.
Oh, shots fired.
That's good. I said there was good or bad. I mean, there's just hasn't been one that has hit yet. I have my Paul Skeens one in there, but I forgot to send that open to myself.
What was the Skeens one?
Did he be in the All-Star game? Then you guys told me Johnny said it was a heart take. That was a heart take. Well, the heart take got me the All-Star game starter.
Yeah, I mean,
We
Now,
have
if he
Joey Bart hot take.
He also said Brett Rooker would be in there and he'd be in the home run derby.
I said he'd win the home run derby too.
He'd win the home run
Yeah,
derby.
you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah. Thank you. I didn't know that till right now.
Should have been in there.
By the way, all right. So we'll start with Ray. Ray's hot take was the White Sox will not be the biggest sellers at the deadline. It'll be the Blue Jays.
I could see it. Oh, actually, I could see it. So
it ties right into my hot take. I'll give you mine because I'm trying to get us out of here.
Yeah.
The Houston Astros will acquire Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to play first base.
That's a good take.
They need a first baseman. No offense to Aletness, but they need Jonathan Singleton. They need a
Now,
first
Dana
baseman.
Brown is out there talking about pitching for the Astros.
They need a starter or two for sure.
They're talking about pitching.
Yeah.
You're saying
smoke screen.
You're saying the team that already is arguably one of, if not the best offense in baseball, they need more offense instead of pitching.
I heard you talking last night on the postgame about Ace Clubhouse show about the lack of strikeouts with the Astros. Yep.
As I said last night, and I should get into it again, the outliers in our game, there's always outliers early. The longer we get into the season, the outliers start to fall, right?
Yeah.
You strike out a lot, you don't put the ball in play, you start to see where those teams rank scoring
for
runs.
sure.
What do you got, Johnny?
Oh, my hot take? My hot take is something I've said from April, and I continue to say it, and I believe it. The A's will go 34-26 in their last 60 games, which will propel them to a 74-88 record. They have the White Sox for 6. They have the Angels for 4 more. You take 5 out of 6 from the White Sox. You play 3 out of 4 from the Angels. You play 500 ball, and that comes true. They will win 34 of their next 60. They will finish with exactly 74 wins. They'll be 74-88. That's going to be their record. That is my take.
I do need to say this. always having hot takes on the A's is really easy to do because if you're wrong, then we can't rip you.
Well, the name another. I mean, I haven't really gone A's that much of late. I mean, I have to know it.
I mean, when you go A's, when you go constantly pro A's,
well,
you really don't lose.
You're saying constantly.
You're kind of like, I'm going to be like, hey, the A's are going to be great, and then if they're not, then.
But 35 and 27. That's an exact number. That's a.
I know, but if they don't
take.
hit it, what are we going to do? Oh, you're wrong. You're an idiot. The A's. We can't.
I understand that. I'm just saying
I
mean, that is a blazing hot take, and it's going to happen.
It's more like a safe take.
It's not a safe
always
take.
Going A's is safe.
I don't go when you say always.
Unless you said the A's are going to lose the next 21. That's a hot take.
Well, when you say always and constantly, I know you're that's not
a hot take.
There's no fact to that. I haven't done a lot of A's.
Right, what was the number again? You said 34 and 26, and you said 35 and 27. No, I don't know which one it is.
34 and 26,
right.
So 74 and 88 total. That's the hot take.
And we finished what?
74 and 88.
The largest turnaround ever. I saw it today. It's like 2 Orioles back-to-back years, like 33-game turnaround is the longest
This will be a 24-game turnaround.
That would put them in like top 5 all-time turnarounds in the history of baseball.
Saying. 34 and 26.
But the whole point is I can't, like, I have to root for your hot take. Like, if your hot take doesn't hit, what do I then say?
Well, it's not like you were rooting for his hot take when he said Brent Rooker in the All-Star. I was rooting for that too. The home run derby. I was rooting for that.
Yeah, it's another weak hot take because it's something we can't rip. Right? It's like, oh,
you can rip me saying Edwin Diaz will never going to save again.
Correct. I can go, you're an idiot. That was the dumbest. I can't do that with Rooker.
You're right. Good point.
Right?
Good point.
I can't do it. All right. I've struggled of how to form this hot take.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, how many days till the trading deadline?
A week from today.
7.
This is going to be the worst trading deadline in the history of Major League Baseball. I predict there will not be one blockbuster deal. Not one. If the best you're telling me is Vladimir Guerrero to the Astros for some nobody prospects, I don't think we're seeing Juan Soto for 5-6 guys. I'm predicting we will not see one blazing hot big trade that any GM is going out on a limb saying, I'm going for it. This is good. And we'll have to grade it, right, if it does happen.
Yeah.
But it's got to be big names, switching teams, blockbuster. I think just like the winter meetings has been a dud, I think the Major League Baseball trade line has been a dud. This is going to be the worst one ever. It's because what we have. We're playing hedge fund baseball now. Everybody except for a couple guys, and I don't know what Dave Dombrowski has left to give. I don't know what A.J. Preller, Jerry DiPoto, who's on the hot seat right now with the collapse of the Mariners. There's only a couple riverboat gamblers left, but the problem is those riverboat gamblers, they don't have anybody to deal with because everybody's playing the hedge fund. It's what Jerry DiPoto said last year. Hey, we win 54% of the time. That's all that matters. So we don't have a bunch of gunslingers out there who want to make big-time deals.
Which you'd think with the extra wild card that there would be, since more teams are in it, that they would try to make the blockbuster deal. It's interesting.
I am putting my name on this.
Okay.
See, instead of going, I think the A's are not going to trade anybody. Is that a hot take?
No.
No big blockbuster. I'm like Rafael Palmeiro up. I did not take PEDs. There will not. Remember the figure wagon?
Yeah.
There will not be one big blockbuster trade.
You heard it here, right here.
It will be the worst, defined as the worst trade deadline in the history of baseball.
Wow.
Ever.
Okay. That's good stuff, man.
See, I think if I yell it a little bit, it's like I mean it more.
I love it.
It's just the entertainment business. All right, you're out of here because I got Tommy Tanks.
Thanks, Shawnee.
You like that hot take? Well, we have our second round pick, I think.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking. I thought we were getting Tommy Tank. Tommy, where happened?
Oh yeah, the hair's gone.
What happened?
I know. It's not as much of a shock to others as it is to me. I mean, it's one of those things it had to go.
Why'd you make the change?
It was getting pretty nasty.
Oh,
it was really, really long.
Well, to let people know, at LSU, what a compliment. People there, Tiger fans, were starting to dress up like you.
Oh yeah, Halloween was a hit.
That's awesome.
In Baton Rouge, yes sir.
By the way, I'm Chris Townsend, the A's guys.
Yes,
nice
sir.
to meet you.
Awesome.
I'm going to be dealing with you your whole career because you're going to be here a long time.
I'm planning on it.
How fired up you sign? You're finally here. You get to take a little BP with the big club. I mean, this is what you've dreamt about your whole life, the start of a professional career.
Yes, sir. And it's everything I hope for and more. It's been awesome to be a part of this, and to be able to see the ball fly in a big league stadium is pretty cool.
Well, I told Kurtz yesterday, I said one of the great things about playing for the A's and when you get drafted by the A's, as you saw with Jacob Wilson.
Yeah.
You go and you do your part. You do your job. You'll be here faster than you think. I mean, you have a chance. Have you thought about that?
No, I think about one game at a time. What's in front of me right now, and that's Arizona. I got to make it out of Arizona. So that's the start. And then we go to Stockton, and then we go from there on. So I'm just looking at each game in front of me, what's that task at hand. And hopefully if I do what I need to do, hopefully I will be here soon. That's the goal.
Obviously, you had an accomplished career at LSU. You won a national title. You put up great numbers also at NC State. Talk about what you have learned, because college baseball has the data. They have the technology. Talk about everything that you learned that you now want to implement at a higher level.
Yeah, I would say the strides I made defensively, I want to take that into pro baseball and to keep going in that direction that I was going through in college. There's a lot more work to be done in that aspect, and to keep going in the right direction is my goal for pro baseball right now. And, just to, maintain everything gets faster, nastier, everything gets harder.
Yeah.
So just to get with that speed of the game and get used to that right away as fast as possible.
I love the fact that you start with defense, because obviously we didn't get to watch in the SEC. Some people, because I know you DH'd, people are like, can he play third base? And that was really what last year you proved to a lot of people, that you're not going to be a career DH, that you're a guy that can man the hot corner. How much did you, as you're having all this success, right? You're winning the national championship. People are dressing like you. The world's your oyster, that you have to say, you know what, I got to get better on defense. I got to prove to myself and everybody else that I truly can play third base.
Yeah, and that was exactly what you said, and that's all it was. It was I needed to get better at third base. Everything's in my lap right now, so why don't we just focus on what we got to do? And that's get better at third base. So I just used all last year and all the offseason, all the off time I had was just reps at third, reading hops, and, just trying to be as best I can over there for that last year.
The nickname is Tommy Tanks. Let's talk about it, right? Talk about the offense approach, what you bring to the party when you get in that box.
Yeah, I love to go opposite field with a lot of things. Take the off speed to left field, but no, I like to hit the ball far. I go up there to try to do damage with every swing. I have a 2-strike approach, pretty gnarly. Get wide, no stride. But no, I'm trying to do damage, no strikes, 1 strike, with every chance I can.
And I love hearing that, because we've seen so many guys at the big league level go, I don't care about strikeouts, and they have 0 2-strike approch. I like you hearing that. Sounds like you're one of these guys that goes, I don't like striking out. That's not in your playbook.
No, that's not part of my game. I try my best not to. As one thing about this game I absolutely hate, and that is striking out. So if I can not have a bad day,
yeah,
then better get a 2-strike approach.
The one thing that I've learned over the years is when you get a guy who's coming from college, who's been very successful winning, just not numbers. You come from one of the great programs in the country. You get to pro ball, it now becomes all about your own personal numbers. But there's something about that training at that school. So I think that winning way never leaves you. You show up to win. It's like Lawrence Butler, Zach Geloff. They talked about in the minors, like it was still about winning. You just can't take that out of your DNA.
It's only about winning. That's why we play this game. It's only about winning. If you train to be a loser, you're not playing the game the right way. That's how you can't train to be a loser or train for better yourself. Yes, it's an individual game and a team sport, but if you walk away with a loss, you're the loser, and I hate that. I hate somebody else walking away saying they're better than me that day. There's just there's not room in my vocabulary. So gotta win.
People don't realize I played college baseball back in the early 90s. We didn't have data, right? We barely had scouting reports. And I talk to people now, especially on this show and on the postgame show, how in a lot of ways college baseball was more developed with technology at one point than even at the big league level. You've gone through that process. You've had technology. You've had this your entire life, right? You've always had technology. Talk about utilizing technology, whether it's defense, offensively, data, health, mentality. Just talk about how data has helped you grow as a player.
Yeah, I would say, the numbers, I mean, from even when you're hurt, coming back to see what your numbers were and to get those numbers back. I think that's a great tool to use it for as well. But I would say that the numbers, they don't lie. They tell you what it is and how to get better and where the best players are, what their numbers are, and that's where you got to be at. So I would say, I'm never a guy to chase a number. I'm never chasing a number because I want my personal and my game's going to look a lot different than, somebody else's. So I got to, focus on myself, but then again, look at the numbers and to be like, okay, this is where I'm at, yada, yada. Then we move on from there.
I'm looking forward to you, man. I mean, got to watch you play, obviously, on ESPN the past couple of years, but, that mentality, that winning program, you were around so many great players. You win a national championship. People don't understand how hard it is now to win. Once you start getting in the regionals, the super regionals, and you get into the College World Series, playing in Omaha and being victorious, and at the end being the national champion, people don't realize how hard it is.
It was tough, but it was awesome.
So it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, it's now all about your career, and I'm excited for you and your family. It's life-changing, and I can't wait for you to get back up here. We'll be doing this as spring training, and as you progress, like we did with Jacob Wilson, every level he went, we pop him on the show. We follow you throughout your career until you get here. You're going to get here, and we'll be waiting for you.
I appreciate it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdog Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, we haven't done a lot on today's game. I get it, but we've had such great guests. Don't forget, Chris Davis is going to be here coming up at, what time are we doing, Chris? 5:30?
5:30, yeah.
All right, last night with the 4-0 victory, A's with the 8th shutout of the year. That's 3 more than last year. Pitchers right now, last 5 games, 2.80 ERA. Starters are 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA last 5 games. How about the 4 games since the All-Star break? You want a little offense? Anybody like offense? Last 4 games since the All-Star break, the A's are hitting 308, 30 runs, 17 extra base hits. That's 11 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs. They've won 5 of their last 7. They're 10-6 in July. And probably the biggest story, which is such a great story, is when you think about Lawrence Butler, a kid that this team drafted. I love talking about him. I love talking about the story. He came to this organization as a kid, and he's turned into a man. He was raised in this organization by all the great coaches and all the great men in this organization. They've all meant so much to him. I don't know if there is anybody in this organization as a player who's more proud to wear the green and gold than Lawrence Butler. And I'm just not blowing smoke here. When you talk to Lawrence about every step through the minor leagues and how every coach and what they've meant to him, to watch Lawrence Butler now blossom as an A's player, it's really special. Right now in July, Lawrence Butler has the most RBIs in baseball in the month of July. Tied for 3rd in home runs with 7, 4th in slugging with an .857 slugging percentage. He is 4th in OPS at 1,300, 11 extra base hits tied for 4th, and a batting average of .393, which is 5th in baseball. That is all in the month of July. That is all since Lawrence Butler took over. I mean, it is just since he's taken over, and especially since he's taken over the leadoff spot. Can't say enough. How you doing, guys? Can't say enough about what Lawrence Butler is doing for this team. He has energized this team, and he's showing you the future. You're talking about a guy who's 6'3", whatever he weighs, but he's a terrific athlete. you start looking around the diamond and you start saying to yourself, okay, you got Jacob Wilson at short. We know Max Schumann is a really good athlete. He's going to be able to play a lot of different positions. Third base right now, it's going to be Abraham Toro. Second base, you're going to have Geloff. You got Soderstrom at first. He's a big kid who can flat out swing it. You got the two-headed monster behind the plate in Langeliers and McCann. And now, until further notice, and I don't think they're going to be traded. I mean, David Force, if you watch the David Force, David really showed cards yesterday. He flat out said on this show, if you're expecting much, you're going to be disappointed. Normally, he wouldn't say that kind of stuff. There was a glow about David Force yesterday that he's been taking a lot of shots. He's been taking a lot of heat lately. You could see there was a glow. He sees something special is about to happen. So you got Butler and Wright. You got J.J. Bleday, who, by the way, has a double in 5 straight games that ties an Oakland record. J.J. Bleday starting to get the stroke back. Great thing about J.J. Bleday, he's basically played every day. He's showing you he's an everyday player. He's showing you he can get through the highs and the lows every day, to stay healthy, play that mental game every day. To watch J.J. Bleday continue to grow as a player, it's great. Center field. I made the prediction, Hot Take Tuesday. Do you remember my hot take on J.J. Bleday?
You say you'd lead the team in home runs?
No, that was
predictions.
Hot Take Tuesday. You've already forgotten?
I mean, I have them all written down. We have had so many.
He'll be the first guy that gets a multi-year deal.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Go look at it. Extra base hits, OPS, and even with that struggle, that little bit of a mini slump, look where he is compared to the rest of center fielders in Major League Baseball. He's having one of the better years, center field. And then, of course, in left, Andujar.
There you go.
I love that. It's Andujar.
What's with all these Pirate guys having different names now that they're here?
I always remember, how about Duran? And it was always Duran.
Yeah.
Andujar. What's the other one? Can't remember. But yeah, so Andujar, he's hitting over 300. And we were talking about it earlier off the air. The great Ken Korak was here. Johnny Doskow was here. We were talking about it before the show. Isn't it funny how you look at somebody hitting 300 and it's like he stands out so much? Just 304 stands out. What about the days? I mean, you're just talking about a guy going into the Hall of Fame, 2 guys going to the Hall of Fame. You remember great years that Joe Mauer had, Todd Helton had, Larry Walker recently going in. Let's go back to Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs. I mean, can you imagine a guy? We've seen Stephen Kwan. He hasn't been able to sustain it. But what about the days where Tony Gwynn's hitting 370, Boggs hitting 364? They did it for a season.
All rise.
And then now, well, what's the highest he's ever finished?
He ended with 340 or 350 last year?
Ooh, did he stay at 350?
Let's see, I'll pull it up right now. That's when he was.
I think you're going a little high.
That's when he was a Marlin.
I think you're going a little
he was
high.
a Marlin last year. Last year, a rise ended up at 354.
Wow. I mean, that stands out dramatically. But Andujar, who has a little power.
Duhar.
I geeked it, really. I don't think he's going anywhere because we were educated yesterday by David Force that they have his rights next year. Don't think he's going anywhere. Now, if somebody comes in and offers the package you can't refuse, obviously you make deals. But once again, I don't think that's happened in this trade deadline. What you see is what you get, and what you see is an offense. What you see is a unit starting to come together, play well together, grow together, finish out this season strong, and head into the offseason. All right, so that's one thing wanted to get into, just a little A's talk here on the A's, on A's Cast Live.
Wasn't A's Talk our name of our old pregame show?
Was the
or was it the postgame?
Name of my old postgame show. I don't know who named it the Clubhouse Show. I don't remember. I think was that after COVID? Someone did that. I wasn't looking. All right. Hyatt Michael has shoved this down my throat. So Michael comes to me today and says, hey, listen, I did a lot of really good research yesterday, but our know-it-all play-by-play guys wouldn't do my stat. And it's a great stat. It's great data. And I went, that's typical our play-by-play guys who think they're so special that they don't have time to deal with the numbers, right? We got to get back to the 2-2 pitch. So I said, since you got snubbed by our play-by-play guys, I will actually handle your research. You ready?
Let's hear it.
And I'm talking about Johnny Doskow.
Yeah.
He's the worst. You could give Johnny the cure for a disease. He's got to get back to the 2-2 pitch.
Bro, hold on. 3-2.
Bro. All right. A's highest winning percentage against teams they have played 100 times or more at the Coliseum. Highest winning percentage. I am shocked by the answers. I immediately thought Giants. I know we've done well against the Giants. Here, Giants are an honorable mention. They're not top 5.
The worst one, I guess, was the Yankees. That was
literally the worst pick ever because the Yankees have the best winning percentage as a visiting team here since it opened in 1960.
I think I ended up getting 3 of the 5.
Well, no.
It's process of elimination. But
no, there's 30 teams. You threw out like 12 teams. You got a couple right. So
right off the bat, I said Mariners and Angels.
Doesn't really count. Number 5 is the Los Angeles, Anaheim, Disney, Orange County Angels at 55.8%, the winning percentage against them. Number 4 is the Seattle Mariners. Jerry DiPoto wants to win at 54%. Well, the A's are winning at 56.2% against the Mariners here. Royals, remember, the Royals used to be in division. By the way, this is going to lead me into my next talking point, which I saw something today that I've been talking about for years, and it is fascinating to me because it's happened in all the other sports. And if MLB Network is talking about it, it means baseball is talking about it. Why? Who owns MLB Network?
Major League Baseball.
All right. The Royals used to be in the West.
Don't forget the Royals already have 56 wins this year. That's how many wins they had all of last season. So good on Kansas City.
Yeah, Royals are 56-45 last year, 56-101. But the Royals, the A's have won against the Royals at a 60% clip here at the Coliseum. So even when you had Mark Gubazah, who comes on the program, and you had the great George Brett and those Brett Saberhagen, Steve Balboni, Frank White, because the Royals really from the late 70s to the mid 80s were fantastic, but they've been bad for a lot of those other years. The A's have owned them. Number 2, this is the biggest, probably, if we would have asked everybody and given you a poll question, I don't think anybody would have had this one.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, I remember now. The Milwaukee Brewers.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Brew Crew. The A's have won a 61.9% against the Brewers here at the Coliseum. Remember, Brewers were in the American League.
What year did they switch back? Or switch it to the
Couldn't even tell you.
Is it the 80s?
No, I want to say it's into the 90s.
Okay.
Because you still had Robin Yount. Robin Yount didn't play in the National League. Robin Yount was an American leaguer. So Robin Yount played all through the American League.
1998. With the expansion teams.
Oh, you were close. You want to ask me again if they played in the 80s in the National League? Number 1. It's one of your favorite teams of all time.
Oh, ties in perfectly. An expansion team in 98.
Is it the Devil Rays or the Rays?
Oh,
well, look out. Everybody look out.
We should have fact checked that. How many wins were against the Rays and how many wins were against the Devil Rays?
I guarantee you a lot were against the Devil Rays.
Yeah, well,
the A's have beaten the Rays at a clip of 62.1%.
That was the Larry Rothschild, Lou Piniella. Who else managed it? Who else managed the Devil Rays before Joe Madden?
Oh,
I know those two guys.
I mean, who's your favorite Devil Ray of all time? Is it Vinny Castillo? Is it Castilla, I should say? Is it Wade Boggs? Is it Jose Canseco?
Jose's a good one.
Fred, the crime dog McGriff going back home?
I probably, if we're going just Devil Rays, so I can't use Josh Hamilton.
Yeah.
Carl Crawford.
Yeah.
I'd probably go.
Carl Crawford was a Devil Ray.
I'd go Annie Sodersign.
How about our good friend, the manager of the Minnesota Twins?
Oh, Rocco Lodell, another top prospect.
He was a Devil Ray.
Yeah, I'd probably go Crime Dog.
He's your favorite Devil Ray of all time.
It's the Crime Dog.
playing in Tampa with the Devil Rays.
Back home. What was the commercials he used to do on Tom Lemaski? The bad hat that was crooked.
Yeah.
The Tom played every night after Sports Center for all those years.
I just had a legendary Devil. I got to play for Tino Martinez. Wasn't
Tino the Bambino?
Wasn't he a Devil Ray at
He
one
was
point
a Devil
too?
Ray. It's like everybody who ever starred in the American League East somehow, as they got older, ended up on the Rays.
Jim Morris, the guy from the movie The Rookie.
Disney movie.
Yeah, let's see. I'm looking at the 2000 Devil Ray. Larry Rothschild was the manager, the legendary pitching coach. Let's see who was on this team. Crime Dog, Miguel Cairo, Vinny Casilla, Greg Vaughn.
Out of Sacramento.
Jose Guillen, Jose Canseco.
The great Jose Canseco. A's Hall of Famer, Jose Canseco.
A young Randy Wynn, a young Aubrey Huff. Dave Martinez, no, it can't be Dave.
My former radio partner, Aubrey Huff.
Quentin McCracken. Let's see the pictures real quick before we move on. Steve Traxel, that's the only really big name guy on there. Corey Lytle. Yeah. There you go. That was a 2000 Devil Rays.
So if you get asked who of the A's dominated the most since 1968 at the Coliseum, you now know the answer. It is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays / Rays. Now the question, Michael, we have not seen the Rays yet. Is there any way the Rays can change this percentage point and the Brewers could take over?
Rays come here for 4. And then
Rays will be here for 4.
Right after the Brewers come.
So we have but is there any way this mathematically could change to where the Brewers could overtake the Rays?
Crack Staff's on it.
Because this is it.
That's crazy. They literally play the Brewers, and then I think it's Brewers then Rays.
Same homestand. Someone's walking out of here the biggest loser in Coliseum history.
Are you going to go up to Pat Murphy and tell him that you're rooting against him because you want the Cardinals to win the Central?
Because I hate Arizona State. That's why I'm going to go after Pat Murphy. No.
Why?
Huh? Why do I hate Arizona State? Forks up. Well, you know the good news about never have to worry about choking a Rose Bowl again.
What was the thing you told Roxy before about the Rose Bowl and Cal?
I can't do my Cal jokes anymore because my kids
right.
are going to Cal.
That's right.
My joke is that what do my kids and Roxy have in common? They'll never see Cal in the Rose Bowl. But now my kids are going to Cal, so I have to root for Cal. I'm a Cal investor now. See, San Jose State people, whether we're trolls and jealous, whatever it is, we hate Cal and Stanford. And by the way, can't wait to kick the crap out of Stanford again in football this year.
Bill Walsh legacy game, final game of the season.
Yeah, welcome back to the schedule, Stanford. They hate losing to us. They hate it, right? You're Stanford. You want to lose to San Jose State? We're going to kick them. Can we curse? Can I curse on this?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
That's probably not appropriate.
You
just know we're coming for your ass, Stanford. Can't wait.
Okay.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
I thought that's where you were going with the curse word you wanted to use.
Oh, that's not correct.
That's what I mean.
I know FCC rules. Ass is not one of them. That's not one of the forbidden. Trust me. I've been in a lawsuit before over this. I know what I can and can't. That's what's funny when people, especially some of our board ops we've had over the years here at the A's, they don't realize what I've been through in my career, which was a major lawsuit. I understand what I can say and cannot say.
So are we doing relocation, or are we going to save the ESPN top 25 players?
Well, where do you want to go?
Well, we got about 20-something minutes till we get to Chris Davis.
Why don't we do your player things because you're hot on it? I can just say.
We can save it for – it's still topical on Thursday and Friday. I mean, so is the thing about from MLB Network. I mean, it's not like it's –
MLB Network today, I'll just do a little preview. So all the sports around us, we all love football. We all love basketball. Some of us like hockey. Some of us don't. You realize in hockey, a lot of teams used to be in Canada north of the border.
In barns.
All right. Frozen ponds, barns, and sweaters. Well, they all moved down to the United States of America where they play in arenas and have jerseys now.
And no frozen ponds.
Except
for Minnesota.
So football, basketball, and hockey have all realigned multiple times. baseball has, but they've never really made sense. And we've really tried to keep this tradition of American League, National League, blah, 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 blah. I finally saw today, because we've talked a lot about it. I've made the joke, if it takes me 3 hours to get to you on a Southwest flight, we should not be in the same division. We were so used to these radical, crazy divisions from yesteryear where you could have the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta. Has anybody looked at a map lately? Atlanta, Georgia is on the East Coast.
I was just there.
They were in the National League West. Cincinnati, Ohio, they were in the National League West. Houston was in the National League West. It was a joke. Now, we got a little better, but we still have teams like Texas, Houston, Colorado in the West, and it makes no sense. And then you got all these teams that are bunched up in the Northeast that are not in the same division, which makes no sense. Why should Tampa and why should Miami be in a division that's the Northeast? When you have all these teams in the Northeast, they're all bus rides from it. They're bus and train rides from each other. Do you realize how close Philadelphia, Washington, Baltimore, New York, Boston are all to each other? Right?
Yes, I was just there. I know.
I've done that many times. You never have to get on a plane. You just train it everywhere. So it's like, this is ridiculous for them not to all be in the same division. They're next door. They're neighbors. And then throw Toronto in there. And then you start looking at the South where, once again, what state borders Florida?
Georgia?
Well, all of a sudden, why are the Braves, Rays, and Marlins not in the same division? So we're starting to figure this out, and we've talked about it for a long time. But you know what? I'm going to hold it for Thursday because it kind of shows you, most importantly, I think for the East Coast teams, it finally makes sense, but also what it does for us. What would do for us if you started looking at a division that was all about the West Coast, and we would be kicking out Colorado, because Colorado should be playing in a Central. That's where Colorado needs to be. And it shows you why, and it makes you understand, maybe it would have been better off in some ways for us to move to Salt Lake City next year versus Sacramento, but there were other things involved in that, because what state borders Nevada?
Utah?
Where's Salt Lake City?
Utah?
Yeah. What borders on the east side of Utah?
East side of Utah.
Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I should know. I drove
it
through Colorado.
It kind of shows
to
you,
Utah.
when it shows you, goes, I mean, I hate to be for all the people who struggle with geography, but when you're looking at the map and you look at California, there's Nevada, there's Utah, then Colorado.
Yeah.
So the fact that they've had Colorado in the West all this time is a joke. So you're looking at, put it this way, when the A's move to Vegas, their closest neighbor will be the D-backs, will be the two LA teams, well, Orange County in Los Angeles, San Diego not far away, but I'll be in from Vegas to Salt Lake City. Whoop, that's nothing. Salt Lake City is so much closer to everybody else than Seattle is.
Well, we're going to see it this year in hockey with whatever the Utah names their hockey team and the Golden Knights.
Michael, look up how far a flight is from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas to give you an idea.
I'll say under
an hour. I'm going to say it's under an hour.
I'll say an hour 15.
Oh, you're hedging your bet.
He said under an hour. I said hour 15.
Nonstop is an hour 37.
Hour 37. So it's basically like flying from here to San Diego.
I got your other stats too.
You have other stats? What do you got for me?
Well, you wanted to know if the percentages changed. Should I get on a microphone?
Yeah, get on the microphone.
Now, I read his stats because Johnny and Ken and Vince wouldn't. So will you tell the story today about how you felt hurt that our broadcast team wouldn't do your stats? So you came to me, and I'm the good guy. I run your great material.
I don't know if I felt hurt, but I figured what a great stat for A's fans to know.
Okay. It's true.
So you want to know if the percentage has changed, right?
It change?
Right. So there's a 0.2% difference right now. The Rays and the Brewers both come in the middle of August. So we've got the Giants, Rays, and then Brewers, that long homestand. So if the A's swept both of them, there'd be a deadlock, 63.5%. Why? Because the Rays series is a 4-game series.
Oh, who do we root for here? Do I need to go talk to Cashy and tell him to mail it in?
Do we want to walk out of here having the same winning percentage against two teams?
No. You want to distinguish yourself, distance yourself.
Can we have one of them come back and play a playoff? Playoffs?
1-game playoff?
Now,
college football playoff is now 12 teams. Why can't we have one?
So now winning the series, right? Just winning the series, taking 3 of 4 versus 2 of 3. There would still be a 0.1% difference in favor of the Rays because, again, that's an extra game, extra win on the record.
Who would you rather have the best winning percentage against, the Rays or the Brewers?
Rays. When you think historically, recently, what team's been a better team?
Well, this is about the history of the Coliseum. Would you want to be better against a more historic franchise?
Are they both historic, though?
I got to ask you. I mean, is everything – can you acknowledge things happened here at the Coliseum before you were born? Can you at least acknowledge that?
Are they going to say –
why does everything – well, it's only been recently. Well, what does that matter?
The Brewers haven't – neither of them won anything.
Brewers have had great players.
Oh, they have. But, I guess
you're throwing Paul Molitor under the bus?
Yeah.
Robin Yount, Cecil Cooper.
Ryan Braun, throw them all in the bus.
Oh, yeah, you like that cheater probably at the University of Miami. The U.
I'd
rather have a better winning percentage against Harvey's Wallbangers.
Raleigh Fingers.
MVP.
Sal Bando.
Yeah. See?
Phil Garner.
What do you got? What do you got with the Rays? The Trop.
We're really good friends with the broadcasters.
Yeah, that's true. They have great guys. All right, so we will get back to this on Tuesday. I just want to throw it out there, plant the seed, think about it, of what a West could look like to where now we're not dealing with these jerks, the Houston Astros. We're not dealing with the Rangers, which we've never established rivalries really with them. Let's face it. If they didn't bang the trash cans and do that stuff, no one would care.
No, remember, I remember them when they were in the NL. I grew up watching them in the Central. Obviously,
I grew up with the NL West.
Yeah, so we've all watched them in different eras.
It's a joke.
And then they came to the AOS.
They've never really had a home.
They came to the AOS as the Lastros.
Yeah, but in this model that I will give you on Thursday, maybe I'm previewing this a little too hard. It's because I want to talk about it, but I can't because if I don't do Cody's stuff, he's like Michael. They whine to me.
But I can tell you, we can still save it.
There's going to be some traditional rivalries that will be broken up, but I think overall for the game of baseball, if you're an A's fan and a baseball fan, you're going to go, yes, I want to see the Giants. I want to see the Dodgers. I want to see the Angels and the Padres and the D-back, the teams that are around where I live.
No, it makes sense.
Whoever this Salt, we're going to be, I know this, I'm not trying to make anybody angry, but it's just a reality. We're going to be in Vegas. I want Salt Lake's next door, right? I don't need Bochy and the Rangers. Bochy won't even be there, but the Rangers and the Astros should not be in the West. It's a joke.
As long as you don't break up one rivalry in baseball, I'm good with it. You can't break up the freeway series when the Dodgers and Angels.
Well, of course they'll be. I
know I'm joking because you thought I was going to go Yankees Red Sox.
No, there is a
Cubs Cardinals.
That gets broken up.
Yeah.
So that'll be a tough one. All right, let's do your thing. What do you got?
All right.
What do you got?
So ESPN released this the other day. They're ranking the top 25 MLB players of the 21st century.
Now, we did all that. It wasn't that long ago we were doing the 20th century stuff.
Yeah, no.
I guess it was a long time ago, but I just remember when we were doing it. ESPN did their top 100.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing the top 100 guys of the 21st century, like athletes overall. I disagree with a lot of the guys on that list as well, but that's okay. We'll stick to baseball here. Number one on the list.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't think about him. I just kind of forgot. And then when you told me, I was like, yeah.
He was a pretty good player.
Yeah,
really
good question.
So ESPN, and I don't disagree with this. ESPN had Albert Pujols, who debuted in 2001 as the number one player of the 21st century.
I would have bet, looking back, he would have debuted in the 90s.
Well, he was drafted in the 90s.
Yeah.
Out of some community college out of like Missouri
it's now,
or
you're
Kansas.
now talking. It's 2024. It's been a long time. He had an incredible career, but now it's like that whole like late 90s, early 2000s, the steroid era. We've now separated quite a bit from that time.
Yeah, and you think about Pujols, he won 3 MVPs. He was a Rookie of the Year. He had 700 home runs, 2,000 RBIs, 3,000 hits. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should be unanimous, but don't worry, someone will vote for him because he got some writer slided. He got slided by some writer, or the other way around, and he won't go in
His 3
unanimously.
MVPs are during the height of the steroid era.
Yeah.
His 3 MVPs, he kept Bonds from winning more. Bonds won 7. There are some people who think Bonds still should have won some of the MVP awards Albert Pujols did. That's how good Pujols was. He kept some of the PED guys from winning MVPs.
Yeah,
he's greatness. He's greatness. There's no question.
Yeah, he was when he was able to St. Louis. They won 2 World Series while he was there. They were a great team, and he was a great player, generational player. For me growing up watching, it was obviously Sosa and McGuire in the home run race, but after that, when he got into after Bonds, it was Pujols and Ichiro.
How many World Series did he win with the Angels?
It's the same amount of playoff games they won. 0.
What? They didn't win anything?
No.
He signed that historic contract.
Oh, well, speaking of Angels, number 2, another playoff
By
loser.
the way, did Albert Pujols, was he clean the whole entire time?
I never heard anything about him.
The great Jack Clark, the Ripper. You don't remember that saga?
No.
Jack Clark on sports radio, our old boss, was his employer. Jeff
in
Barrett.
St. Louis?
Our old boss, Jeff Barrett.
Jason
Barrett had Jack Clark as one of his talents, and Jack Clark started. What he said was, you can go back and look at it, and he ended up getting fired because of it, because everybody in St. Louis loved Albert. But once again, the news, like, do you investigate? Do you know? We like the narrative that our guy's clean. We want to believe it, so we'll just attack anybody that. I don't know whether you can say Jack Clark had credibility or not. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Everybody said they weren't doing it back then, and we found out a large percentage were. So I ask you, do we know?
We don't know. But I'm going to go with I don't think so. Number 2.
Based on what? Did you think Bartolo Colon was doing it? Did you think Melky Cabrera was doing it with his pop belly?
No, but Pujols never had the rip. I guess I'm thinking more Pujols as he got older and his body kind of changed a little bit.
Bartolo Colon have a 6-pack?
He did not.
Did he test positive?
He did.
Did Frankie Montas have a 6-pack?
I don't know, but I'm going to go with no.
So how we can't judge a body and say whether a guy was doing it or not. I'm just throwing it out there. It was the era. As you like to say, it was what?
A loosey-goosey era.
Yes, it was.
Thank you, A-Rod. Number 2 on the list, another perennial Angels loser in the playoffs. He's never been that. Not a loser as a player or person. Talk about that'd be the great Mike Trout. I don't disagree with that one.
No.
3-time MVP, 11-time All-Star. He has an 86.1 WAR, and he's barely played in like 4 years. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. If he stopped playing right now, I will say it. We've already said it. He goes in the Hall of Fame today if he said, I'm done.
Fact.
Number 3 on the list. Maybe a little high. Clayton Kershaw.
I don't know, man. When you read these accomplishments, it's pretty incredible.
They are. 3-time Cy Young Award winner. He was an MVP, 10-time All-Star, World Series champion, threw a no-hitter. Is he his
Triple Crown winner?
Yeah.
Multiple times. He's got 5 ERA titles. Remember, just not the Cy Youngs. He was an MVP as a pitcher. Not many guys have done that in the history of the game.
Of course, the article that when I was going to read it, the way Prince got caught up. Anyway, I'll get to it. I would say, is he better than Verlander? But we'll get to Verlander in a bit. Number 4 was Miguel Cabrera. Won a World Series with the Marlins as a left fielder or third baseman before he ended up having a
skinny young Miguel Cabrera.
Had some issues off the field, and he turned his career around. Or his career was always the same, but he turned it around, and he was a great Detroit Tiger. Bad contract, but
Last player to win consecutive MVPs, Triple Crown winner, 12-time All-Star, 4 batting titles. He's up there. I think 4 is a little high.
Especially ahead of the guy that's going to come up on the list at 6. I think he's should not be higher than that guy.
I think 5 and 6. I'd take both these guys over him.
Number 5 is my guy, Ichiro Suzuki. obviously 2001 AL Rookie of the Year, also won the MVP that year, 10-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove Award winner, won 2 batting titles, also has the all-time hits record in a season.
Ichiro as an all-around player is better than Miguel Cabrera.
Yes, 100% agree.
Miguel Cabrera, as they say, his peak was incredible. But as a career, there is a good part of Miguel Cabrera's career. He was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of years before he retired, he was terrible. Number 6.
Ichiro had 3,000 hits in how many years?
Yeah, let's see. He played only till 20. His last year was like 20.
Incredible right
it was
fielder,
like,
a cannon of an arm.
He came up at 27 from Japan. Came over with 27 from
Steel bags. Ichiro was a magician.
If you can tell me what team and where he got his 3,000th hit, I will be impressed. He was not here.
No. It's kind of like Ricky. So Ricky got his 3,000th hit with the Padres.
And the run record too, right?
I'm going to say Ichiro got number 3,000 as a Marlin.
Correct. What stadium?
It was either Yankees or Marlins. What stadium? Is it still around?
Yes. It's an NL West stadium. You were just ripping them for being in the West.
Colorado?
It was a triple off the wall in right field.
I knew Ichiro. It was either as a Yankee or as a Marlin.
Well, I mean, the only other teams he played for.
Okay.
Number 6.
This guy?
How's this guy so low? And I hate him because he spurned my beloved Pirates for years. Barry Bonds. How's he 6? He hit 73 home runs in 2001.
Okay, you're going to tell me Barry Bonds, who won 2,000 and beyond. Okay, this is no offense to anybody. Everybody has their opinions. I personally do not like him. I dealt with him. He's an ass. But on this show, we keep it real and we do the facts. When people said when Willie Mays passed, they said, who's now the greatest player? No offense to anybody. Willie Mays. Barry Bonds is the greatest player. It's been alive for a long, long time. And I know some people may not like that, but Willie Mays was not Barry Bonds. There's really Barry Bonds and George Herman Ruth, and everybody else is playing for third.
Yeah, I mean,
the numbers, if we're a numbers and data game, the numbers and the data do not lie. So Barry Bonds, we're talking just 2000s.
Yeah.
He had 4 consecutive MVPs.
Yeah.
How many MVPs? Pujols played his entire career in the 21st century. How many do you have?
3.
Bonds had 4.
In a row.
Bonds led in home runs, walks. He had the year of 73 home runs, 6-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger Award, 2 batting titles to go with all those home runs. PEDs involved? Sure, but once again, we can't tell who's – can you tell me Ichiro wasn't on PEDs? You don't know that.
No, I don't know that.
Because when you start talking about – because we as novices, and that's where Victor Conte in so many ways educated us, we were all thinking about anabolic steroids where you got huge. When we start talking about growth hormones, we start talking about testosterone. When we start talking about Lance Armstrong and the biking, how people learn to do blood doping, that has nothing to do with you looking like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong and the United States Postal Cycle Team, they didn't look like a bunch of steroid guys, but they were all blood dopers. By blood doping, and you get the oxygen into your blood, it helps you perform at a way higher level. So we don't know who was and who wasn't. So you really have to just say everybody has to be judged the same way. You can't pick it. That's why Big Papi being a first ballot Hall of Famer is one of the biggest scams of all time.
So number 7 on this is why this is.
So Bonds being 6 is a joke.
Yes. Number 7, this guy, I think he should be ahead of Kershaw. That's Justin Verlander.
Oh, my God. More of your Astro love. You know what? Do you just want to change uniforms and walk over there and do Astros live? You just want to do that?
Do I get Blummer and Sparksy as my co-host?
Yeah, you can have Blummer. You can have Spark. You can have that Cal Hack.
You know what? Should I bring back Luno to be a guest analyst or too soon? We always had a good relationship when we talked.
Justin Verlander on this field was greatness.
Was he still pitching? Well, he'll be back soon.
He's never going to pitch here again.
Oh, true. This is their last trip here, right?
Right? And there's their last trip? Michael?
Yeah, because we played them in September.
Yeah.
In Houston.
So, on this field, I think A's fans will all agree, whether we like him or not, I was envy of him. The greatness, the pitching, the money. Kate Upton, scratch golfer. I hate him, but just when I think of greatness on this field, in the great players in the history of the game who have competed on this field, you have to talk about what Verlander did in the postseason in 12 and 13 for the Tigers.
No doubt.
Not regular season, even though regular season he was great here, but what he did when it truly mattered in the postseason was greatness against really good A's teams.
Well, I need to pull it up real quick before we quickly go through the list. Kershaw is a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. So is Verlander. They both won an MVP. Verlander's a 9-time All-Star. Kershaw's 10. They both won Triple Crowns. Verlander's only won the ERA title twice. He has 3 no-hitters. Kershaw has 1. Oh, and Verlander's going to be the last potentially 300-game winner. I think I'm taking Verlander.
All right. Number 8, this is a good one because he dominated the A's.
That'd be Alex Rodriguez, but he played during a very loosey-goosey era. Number 9, oh, God, Big Papi.
We saw Big Papi hit a milestone home run here. I want to say it was career 400 here.
That sounds right because I'm pretty sure didn't Canerco hit 400? No, Canerco didn't hit against us. It was
Big
Ortiz.
Papi, I think, hit career 400. It was a day game, number 400 here at the Coliseum.
10 is Scherzer.
Great pitcher.
11 is a guy that just went in the Hall of Fame. That'd be the great Adrian Beltre. Derek Jeter's 12. He was really good in the 2000s, but he only played a couple years in the 90s. But it was all the years they were really good.
Couple of years.
95, 5.
He won 3 World Series in the 90s.
I know, but
he won 4. What?
No,
right?
3. 98,
he won 3,
99,
2000. Yeah, okay. So he won 3 in the 90s.
13's Mariano Rivera.
By the way, all these guys you just mentioned, no one won more than Jeter. Just last thing I do respect about Derek Jeter is what all these guys forget about, especially I point to Cody, is that as great as data is, the game still is about winning. Right? Isn't wins still the most important thing, no matter what your stats are? Wins.
Yeah, for sure.
Just checking.
13 was Mariano Rivera. 14.
You're just going to skip over Mariano Rivera?
He's the greatest closer of all time.
Whoa. I got Raleigh Fingers on the phone.
Yeah, we've done this. We should do it again soon. 14, Shohei Ohtani. 15, Mookie Betts.
What? Too soon?
16, Bryce Harper.
Come on. What?
17, Roy Halladay. 18, Pedro Martinez.
Now, I brought him up, and also on this list that's not here, and we ran the numbers, how amazing Kurt Schilling was from 2000 on. D-backs, the bloody sock in the Boston Red Sox, all the wins, all the postseason. Obviously, that's a political thing. And Pedro Martinez, but you do have to remember, young Pedro came up early with Montreal. So Pedro played a lot of his career in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. But still had a great run through that. 19, Buster Posey. Joe Mauer's on this list, which is crazy. He's went in the Hall of Fame. 20 after Buster Posey is this one's going to make you even more upset. Zach Greinke. I mean, Greinke no one signed him, which is crazy. No one signed Greinke yet, and he's like 20 strikeouts away from 3,000. No, the Royals can't bring him in to get 20 strikeouts. Let him get 3,000. It's a milestone. Greinke won a Cy Young. Just saying. Aaron Judge is 21. Now we're getting back into your era a little bit. 21 Judge.
I like Judge. I think Judge is the biggest freak we've ever seen in the game of baseball. Judge is the kind of Yankee I won't hate.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't hate him either. I like Aaron Judge.
Right?
It's not like he went to Fresno.
You know what Aaron Judge reminds me of? If you say a Yankee, because I hate the Yankees. Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
Ricky Henderson. Like when Ricky played. Like there's certain Yankees you can't hate. Aaron Judge is one of those for me. The rest of them, you can take Paul O'Neill and you can take Tino the Bambino.
Can't hate Bernie Williams.
You can take all those. Yeah, Bernie was actually really cool to us here.
Yeah, you can't hate
Bernie was. Bernie was a likable player.
All right, Aaron Judge.
You can have Mike Pagliarulo. You probably don't even know who Mike Pagliarulo is, do you?
No.
Pags.
21 Judge, 22 Randy Johnson, another great Yankee.
Randy Johnson. How many Cy Youngs did Randy win in the 2000s?
Randy Johnson won 3.
You got all these chumps ahead of Randy Johnson?
I didn't write this list. I'm just giving you what ESPN said.
Randy Johnson was greatness in the 2000s for the D-backs.
Don't disagree with you. What he did those from 2000 to 2004 was awesome.
He won 3. Was that when he ran? He win
won
4 in a row?
I thought he won. Yeah, he did.
But was that 99 he won one?
No, he won. I think it was 98, 99, 2000, 2001.
Randy Johnson is that low on the list? That's a joke.
23 is Freddie Freeman. 24, a guy that's going to go in the Hall of Fame next year, CC Sabathia, most likely.
CC was great.
And 25, Manny Ramirez.
You're telling me Buster Posey's better? The 2000s, there's Randy Johnson.
That's what ESPN said. There's one notable admission in my opinion. You said Schilling because we both agreed on that.
Schilling. Michael, bring up the Schilling numbers in the 2000s. Get that for us.
And then I'll give you mine, who I'm going to go. You told me to go switch uniforms, but you agreed with me the other day when we talked about it.
But Bregman?
How is Jose Altuve not on the list?
Oh, I didn't think about it.
He won an MVP. He's going to have 3,000 hits.
How's he? 2000s.
And he's a second baseman. How's he not on the list?
Jose Altuve has played in 7 straight ALCSs, 4 World Series, and 1 2.
How's he not on the list? Sorry,
I agree.
I take him over Freddie Freeman.
It's kind of like with Jeter with me. I have the ultimate respect. I have a lot of respect for him. His size, the way he plays. Jose Altuve has been a great player. Yeah, that's probably a political thing.
Altuve or Manny Ramirez?
Give me. In the 2000s, what did Curt Schilling do?
So 2000s, he won 20 games twice, 2001 and 2004. Went 22-6 with the Diamondbacks in 01, 04, 21-6 with the Red Sox.
Overall, how many wins did he have in the 2000s? It's 100-something, right?
You're going to make me do math here.
Didn't you go to some fancy school? Oh, no, he went to Arizona State. That's right.
Hey, Walter Cronkite School. Don't talk bad about it.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
Gary Thorne, the great Gary Thorne's a faculty member there.
Walter Cronkite.
I remember he was a great
These
hockey
kids don't
broadcaster.
even know Walter Cronkite was just because his name's on the school that's supposed to be good. It's Arizona State. People are going to class in bikinis, and you're supposed to think I respect that education?
Yeah, when I'm thinking of Arizona State, I'm not thinking of Walter Cronkite.
No. The Nightly News.
I think of Jake Plummer.
I mean, you're in Daisy Dukes walking into class. You want me to go, oh, it's a Cronkite.
All right, how many wins?
Sorry about that.
So
we got to get to Chris Davis.
Yes. So I left out. He also won 20 games. He won 23 games in 2002. So he did 3 times in the 2000s.
Uh-huh.
He won a total of 117 games.
He won 117 games in the 2000s.
And his career ended in 2007. So it was only 7 years.
117 games. 2 World Series with 2 different franchises. He pitched those huge games against the Yankees in 01. Then he's got the bloody sock in what he did in 04. How is Curt Schilling not on this list? I get it. People don't like him politically. And that doesn't matter. Jose Altuve and the trash can. That doesn't matter. How's Jose Altuve? Cody is spot on. How is a guy that's been in 7 straight ALCS, has been an MVP, and he's been one of the best players of his generation, not on this list? And Freddie Freeman?
Manny Ramirez or Jose Altuve?
Jose Altuve.
It's a joke. All right.
Now I'm angry. Who Buster Posey was the one after that?
Buster was, I think, what was he, 19?
Buster Posey.
Yeah, Buster Posey's ahead of Aaron Judge.
Give me what they say, Buster Posey. His MVP was unbelievable.
2012 MVP. McCutcheon should have won that one.
Totally.
2010 Rookie of the Year, 3-time World Series winner, 7-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, and he won a Gold Glove. Singular Gold Glove.
No home runs, no RBIs.
Would you rather have him or Yadi Molina?
I'd rather have Posey. Yachty couldn't hit.
No,
you guys all loved him.
He couldn't hit till later in his career.
He didn't hit. Buster Posey could hit.
I'll take Mauer over both.
Huh?
I'll take Mauer over both.
Okay, wait a minute. Now you flipped the game.
Mauer's not even on the list, and he's won the Hall of Fame, and he played during the 2000s.
How much of Mauer was in the 90s?
None. He debuted in 2002.
So Joe Mauer won 3 batting titles.
Not on the list.
MVP, and he's not even on the list.
He just went into the Hall of Fame.
Your list.
Mauer debuted in 2004.
Okay, I shortchanged him.
Oh,
he was drafted in 02.
Problem with Mauer is he switched to first base and played a lot of first base.
They still should be on the list.
Oh, I'm not. That's the problem when we start talking catchers.
There was only one
But
catcher on the
I
list.
take Posey over Yachty.
Yeah. No, you know what? Yeah.
Buster could hit. He just never hit for the power. After that, Buster just never repeated that
MVP year.
The MVP year. And
he always had a good average, but he never hit for power. He didn't have to.
Was it Scott Cousins who blew him up?
Scott Cousins.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, but he was just never the offensive guy. But still, I'd take Buster could still swing it.
Yeah. All right, we should get to Chris Davis now. Talking about guys that hit home runs.
Chris Davis. I think we all love Chris Davis. Crush. During that time when you think about, and we're going to talk about leadership here, which I don't think a lot of people knew about unless you're in the clubhouse. Guy hits so many big home runs, hit so many big hits. Chris Davis, those few years, I mean, 3 straight years of 40 home runs. Chris Davis led baseball with 48 home runs. He was a special player. He was a terrific A, and it was great to catch up with him on this past Sunday for Alumni Sunday.
Here with an all-time favorite. It's Alumni Sunday. Chris Davis right here on A's Cast Live. It has been a while. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been in Arizona trying to stay cool. So, yeah, you don't go outside much in Arizona, but the weather here has been nice. It's been like 30 degrees cooler, so it's nice.
So just take us through it. Now in retirement, I got the 2 boys. How is life for the Davis family?
Life is good. I've been working on cars a lot. I just graduated from a tech school and just hanging out in my garage, really, working on projects, and that keeps me busy.
I remember talking years ago, Jesse Chavez was big into cars and still is to this day, and he's still playing. Just the passion for it, building cars, working on cars. Just take us through it. Has this always been something you've been into? And are you doing more classic cars? Are you doing more today's version of cars? What are you doing?
I'm doing a lot of detailing. I do work on classic cars, and restoration is probably the fun part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been working on a C10 with my friend's truck, and I met him in school, in automotive school, and just hanging out with car guys. Really, just there's so much different cars, so many different things to learn. So it's definitely keeps me busy. I never knew anything about cars before I went to school, and yeah, there's just a lot to learn.
Yeah, because it's really important once the career is done, to have a passion, have something that you love. It's great that you have found that, because for a lot of players, it takes a long time to find something like this.
Yeah. It took some soul searching for sure. But I went back to think of my teenage years, like what else I was into, and I saw the movie Fast and the Furious and was just like, yeah, it'd be cool to have cool cars, so that's my life.
When I think about you in that jersey, and I think about when you first came here, man, it really changed your life. What the A's did for you, what you did for the A's, it was just a great match. You had just some unbelievable years. Walking into the stadium today, what were the feelings like for you?
Oh man, a lot of good times, so many good times, a lot of good teams, a lot of good teammates, amazing fans. The fans here are so authentic. It's just right when I came over to Oakland, I was just like accepted and welcomed, and it made me feel right at home. It was, like you said, a good match. I felt it too, from Bomel to Marcus Simeon to Stephen Vogt. There's just been a lot of good times here.
You never got credit for this, but I would talk about it on the post-game show about how certain young players gravitated towards you. People didn't view you because you weren't a big rah-rah guy as a leader, but inside that clubhouse, you were a leader. And I remember Matt Chapman talking about you and certain players. Just talk about that role, because you guys had some of the best teams in baseball. You were in the playoffs for 3 straight years. Just talk about your role with the younger players and really being a mentor to some of the guys.
I think when that mentor came from was me just focusing on winning. I think Bomel really wanted to win. You know, that's the only thing he liked. That's what I liked. I definitely wanted to be part of a winning team and a World Series team, like hopefully one day, you know, like that was my focus. And whenever one young guy came around, you know, like I just felt, just let them know that that's all we care about. You know, we could have fun as long as we're winning. So yeah, that's what we did. That's just kind of, it was a laid back atmosphere. Bomel made it that way too. You know, you just kind of express who you are. And, you know, the leadership that I had, they took me under their wing and just let them know that it's okay to be yourself.
I'll never forget, actually, in this building, Mount Davis, the day that you signed the contract. And we had you on the show and you were emotional. You didn't show emotion a lot, but you were emotional. When the organization made the commitment to you, now, you know, I remember how emotional you were on that day. Now looking back on it, what was that like when the organization tabbed you as the guy? We're going to finally going to sign somebody up and give them a deal. What was that process like?
Thinking back, I felt a lot of excitement. That was life-changing experience. It was a big deal. Like I felt like I was just a priority. Obviously, it was amazing. Like it was like too much to take in at the time. Looking back, so yeah, I wish I would have played a little better. But yeah, things happen for a reason.
You played through injuries. I think that's a lot of times, and you weren't somebody that was gonna talk about it, but you did play through injuries, and we all know that sometimes that can really affect. It can affect years. It can affect a career.
Yeah. After I hit that wall, I was never the same again. But yeah, I was. That year was tough, physically wise.
But I think about some great years, man. You hit. You know, I still talk about it all the time. Like the one thing about Khris Davis is that you hit not only home runs, but you have your big hits. They came when it mattered. I wish we had that stat that we could say a guy does it truly when it matters, because we saw it in the data, like how many home runs you hit to tie games, to put the team ahead. There was a 3-year run where you hit 40 home runs or more, 3 straight years. You led the league that third year with 48 home runs during that stretch. Just take us back, remembering how many big hits that you had in those games that helped the A's get to the playoffs 3 straight years.
Yeah, that was nothing better. Nothing better than feeling that you changed the game. You know, swing, give your team a chance to win. There's not a better feeling in the world.
And the opposite field power. I still say it. I'm saying it again. There's things that I used to talk about. I still talk about. Your opposite field power was the best I'd seen since Mike Piazza. Just talk about your ability to drive the ball the other way in this ballpark, which is really tough to do.
Yeah, it was something I was taught at an early age. Just hit the ball the other way a lot, and I committed to that, and just that became my strength. But if it wasn't for my dad teaching me how to hit the ball the other way, and it just became my strength. I'd watch Jeter growing up a lot, and that's who I wanted to play like. So like it just kind of evolved that way.
You know, obviously your father in professional baseball for his career helped you. What do you think it's going to be like with you and your kids?
I don't know. We'll see what they like to do. They're so young. I think right now my job is just to expose them to a lot of different things and let them choose, let them decide, you know. So we'll see. You know, they're so young right now. They got a lot of growing to do still.
You're going to go down and have a long line for autographs. You might have forgotten how much this fan base really likes you. I think you're gonna get that sense today. You're gonna get reminded. You know, as I talk about all those big hits, they don't forget all those home runs. They don't forget all those big hits. What do you think that's going to be like today, going down and seeing all the fans?
Well, that's
again?
what I came back for, is just to feel that love again. You know, like I said earlier, the fans are so authentic here that they don't forget. And yeah, I definitely enjoy seeing them as much as they see me. You know, it's both ways too. So I'm really excited to see them and just interact with them.
Well, I can't thank you enough. You were always so good to us here on Ace Cast. I always appreciated that. It was great watching you play. That was a fun run. We had a fun run during that time. Your teams were fun, a bunch of good guys. Yeah, I wish would have gone further in the playoffs, but it was a great run in Ace history. So soak it all in. Enjoy it. You were a great A, and the fans are going to give you a lot of love today. I hope you enjoy every minute of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I will.
The great Chris Davis right here on A's Cast Live.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.